Hey guys, MelchorMoore.com here, and I am here today with Brian Kvisler, owner of Portland SEO Pros. I found Brian because he's the #1 ranking SEO search in Portland. All you have to do is Google SEO Portland, and Brian pops up, and very blessed to have him agree to do an interview today. So, Brian, if we have emerging artists that have a website, they're making some sales, and they want to up their SEO ranking, and they call you. What would you say that you're going to do for that?
So I would say the first thing an artist wants to make sure that they're covering or handling is to make sure that they're ranking for their personal name. In a perfect world, they've got a unique name that makes it a little bit easier to rank for that kind of thing. So, normally if somebody calls me and asks about SEO, I do my best to give them as much free information as I can right up front. And I think for most artists, the first part of that free information would be to don't pay for SEO, to stop calling SEO people, because you're going to end up on the phone with a really good salesperson that's going to sell you probably something that is not going to help you. So what I would suggest is artists pay enough attention on their own or find somebody reputable to help them to just do the basics to get ranking for their name. Now, we talked about already if somebody's looking to do commission artwork or portraits, pet portraits, family portraits, whatever, those kinds of things, or maybe even drawing for architects or something like that, then I would say that there can be some value in trying to rank for something along the lines of Commission Artist Portland. The question is, or ends up being, is how valuable is that? So if you're an artist and, let's say, I'm sure artists hate to do this, but you calculate down your time to being worth $100 an hour, let's say, whatever it is.
Right.
Or maybe it's 50 or maybe it's 500. It doesn't matter, but you got to figure out how much time it kind of equates to money if you're doing jobs like those. And then figure out how much you're going to spend on SEO and how much potential it has to bring in revenue.
Mm-hmm.
And so in most cases for artists, it's just not really going to be worth it. Or you're going to end up doing projects you don't want to do, because it's kind of like grinded out projects to get money, which maybe you got to do to pay the bills, or maybe you love doing that kind of work. But I think in my experience, a lot of artists don't love that kind of work.
Or
they're kind of there to express themselves.
The commission work where you have to do so. Yeah, it's hard to work for. When you do a commission piece, it's difficult.
So, like I said, I think as an emerging artist, you got to get found online. That's kind of a requirement now. You can't just get yourself in a gallery and have that be enough for most people. So you really do need to kind of claim your personal brand. And for most artists, their personal brand is going to be their name, potentially with their city or something like that. If you have, if you're named Sam Jones, then you might want to find some way to differentiate your personal brand, like have your middle name in your signature on your
and then
pieces.
You break it down: acrylic painting or oil painting, commission, portraits, puppy portraits.
Yeah.
So what would you expect an artist to know before they call you, even though you don't want them to pay for SEO?
Well, yeah, so what would be nice to know before you call any SEO or even any digital marketing kind of help in is to know how you want to get found. And this is kind of something that, artists as business owners need to start thinking of anyway. And so, of course we've talked about your name, but the real kind of question is, who likes your stuff and where are they, right? And I don't mean to name names, but I mean, you talk about this in marketing and business, it's like building your avatar, right? So the people who most love my stuff or who most love my business are usually males, usually between, 45 and 55, and usually own a small business with, 1 to 20 employees. And I'm sure that's a lot harder to figure out for artists, who they want to get in front of, or maybe they can look back and say, who has liked my stuff in the past?
Well, I would say people that own their homes, people whose children are out of college and they have expendable income.
Right, and what would be nice is to take it one more step and say love acrylic, or
No.
love landscapes,
Yes.
right? Or love animals,
Yeah.
or something like that, and that can help you differentiate. So once you have that picture in your head, that's a nice thing to bring to someone like me who can at least help you discuss ways to get in front of them. And I guess what I'm saying is, in most cases, SEO is not going to be the most efficient way to use your personal marketing dollars or time. In most cases, it's going to be something else. Like, you're probably better off just beating the streets and asking people to put your stuff in their gallery.
Right.
Once you have that brand built, though, and that's an important thing. There's a lot of ways to do that, but I think it's really important right now for artists to open their mind to branching out, to not just having, an Instagram and nothing else. Really find all those places where your target audience might be, and make sure that you're in those places. So build yourself a website one way or another. You can use Wix, you can use WordPress. There's 100 ways to do it, and there's a lot of free ways to do it. But you want to have something out there, right? And of course, claim your Instagram, and find out what the artists in your circles, where they're putting their stuff out, and make sure you're on all those same places. You want to be like prolific with places that people are going to be able to find you online. There's a tool called Knowem, Knowem. I'm not affiliated with them at all, but you can sign up with them, and they'll get you like every social media, not every, but I don't know, like 100 social media accounts, where that way you just have them all now. You like claimed your name. And in a perfect world, you spend time trying to put content onto those, and there are ways to make that automatic, where if you put content on your website, it'll go out to all of them.
Oh.
Or to many of them, I shouldn't say all of them.
It's something you just get like duplicate
Yeah.
posts on all of these different websites.
So if you put out a new piece, you publish it to your website, and then it can go automatically out to lots of these different social media sites. It's pretty cool. Check out Hootsuite. That's one of those things you might want to seek help for. I would say most artists probably aren't going to want to spend their time fiddling with that.
I've heard of that. Hootsuite, what does that do?
Hootsuite, it started off as basically like a Twitter scheduler. And so, you could write 100 tweets, and it would just put them out whenever you wanted, right? So you could schedule like one a day. You could sit down and just batch all your tweets, right? In one day, just write every tweet you want to do. And then it'll send them out like every day or week, whatever, so you can seem like you're consistent.
But you're not.
But you're not, yeah. But now it does other stuff, like basically sending out something you put on your website to a bunch of your social media. So that's another way to get stuff out there. But what's really more important is that you're kind of claiming your name online, and control of the places your name might be seen. Mm-hmm. So that's something people might want to look to, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, the main ones are Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn.
Yeah, probably Twitter.
You get those covered.
Yeah.
Yeah. Twitter, yeah.
Yeah. And I know that, I know there's some big kind of art hubs where people primarily just put their art up. I don't know what they are.
Yeah, there are like artsy. You'd want to get into that. Like if you're bigger, I'm not quite at that level yet. I don't think. There's Printful and Society 6, Redbubble, where you're doing product conversion.
So I would encourage artists to really just find every avenue that they can get into for free, because that doesn't cost anything. It costs time.
Yeah.
So it definitely makes sense to do that. And as you build up your kind of audience and portfolio and have more money coming in, then maybe it makes sense to start looking at those other avenues. But there's so many free ones right now that you can really get a good base going. I think the one thing I'm going to reiterate is, like, don't just have one place and kind of have your nose up to the rest of the world that, like, I only have to put my stuff in one place. Like your
website.
Yeah.
Like you need more.
Yeah, put it out everywhere, because the more places it's out there, the more likely someone's going to find it and buy it, or look at your other stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
What else?
Well,
what else you got, man?
I don't know. I don't have a lot. You covered a lot of bases. I think this is a good. This is what you would get if you got a consultation with Brian, if you contact him, and I think you should. All right. Thanks for